are you doing?
Hi, I'm Megan.
And I'm John.
And this is the Vargas Venture, where we help you hack through adulthood.
In today's video, we're going to talk all about how to apply for jobs and best practices to maximize your chances. Now, in the last video, we talked about how to build your resume, and we did another video on how to build a good cover letter. So once you have those two pieces, it is time to go out and apply. So we're going to give you the tips on how to do that.
I like watching your reaction. Tip 1 is to apply for everything.
Within your field.
Obviously. There is no harm in applying for a job that you don't think you're qualified for. Let them be the decision maker of whether or not you're qualified, because they might be looking for someone who's a little underqualified that they can train the way that they want that person to do their job. Also, some people always say don't apply for jobs that you don't want. But in my experience, that wasn't the case. I applied for a job that I thought could be interesting, and then after I applied for it, I did more research and decided that that was not the school I wanted to teach at. But they called me for an interview. So I was like, I'm gonna go and apply. I'm gonna go and interview, and it'll just give me experience on interviewing, and then I'll be better for the next job that I actually want. So I went in, I interviewed, and an important thing to remember is that when you're interviewing, this is a tip for next video, but I'm gonna say it anyways. When you're interviewing, they're not only interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them. And I ended up loving the people who interviewed me and knew that they would be really great coworkers. So that's the job I decided to take the job offer for. Moral of the story, apply for everything, even if you don't think you'll like it, because you might surprise yourself.
Wise man once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
It's true.
Michael Jordan, Michael Scott.
Oh my gosh.
Tip number 2, rejection is not a bad thing. When I was looking for jobs, I applied a ton and I got a ton of automated, we found the job emails, a ton of you're not a good fit for us emails. Now they didn't even take a look, and I got a ton of no emails as well. You're gonna get a lot of nothing from a lot of places. And the important thing to know is don't take it personally. Every closed door is just another opportunity to get you closer to that yes. Back when I worked in sales, they said every no would get you closer to another no, which would get you closer to another no, which would get you closer to the yes. So you're just playing the law of numbers here. You're gonna apply as many times as you can so you can get the most amount of interviews that job that you're applying for. So play the numbers. You're gonna fail more than you succeed. So don't take it to heart, just keep chugging along and persevere through it.
Tip number 3 is to be attentive to your email and your voicemails. So you're gonna start getting a lot of calls from numbers you don't recognize and you might think they're scams. So if you let it go to voicemail, that's okay. But make sure that your voicemail box is cleared up and that you have space for people to leave you a voicemail, because you may lose a great job opportunity if your voicemail is too full and they can't call you and ask to set up an interview with you. Also, check your email. Make sure that you are checking that email at least once every day so you can apply quickly to an email about an interview inquiry.
Yeah, so back in high school, I made that mistake. I was applying for my first job, part-time job, and I applied for Apple. I really wanted to work at Apple at high school. So they left me a voicemail, and I didn't see it until 3 months later. You think I got that job? No. All because what? I didn't even get a chance to interview because I didn't take a look at my voicemail. So don't be a fool like I was. Okay, so tip number 4 is to network confidently. One of my mentors once told me that if you're applying for a job, make sure everyone knows it. And what he meant by that was tell all of your friends, all of your families, they'll reach out to connections, because everyone who supports you wants to help you. One great example of this was I reached out to a friend who I had a couple of classes with back in college because she worked for a company that I was applying for. And so she put in a good word for me and I was able to get an interview. Now I ended up bombing that interview, but that wasn't her fault, that was my fault. And I was super grateful that she helped me get that opportunity. So there's a lot of people out there who want to help you. So let everyone know you're looking for a job. That way you have a large group of people who are going to reach out to friends that they know and hopefully get you connected, because one of the most effective ways that people get a job is through a referral or a connection. So maximize your connections. Hopefully they will give you something to look forward to.
Yeah, that also works in the teaching field as well. So there are some districts that are nearly impossible to get into unless you know someone. If you know someone, they can put in a good word for you, and then you might be able to get your foot in the door in that district. Tip number 5 is to clean up your social media. I don't know if you know, but employers like to go on potential employees' social media and make sure that there's nothing controversial on there. So political stuff, I would recommend not posting, or if you have posted it, get rid of it. And if there's any picture on your page that might be embarrassing or might shed you in a bad light, get rid of it. Or if you didn't post it, ask a friend to take it off for you.
Exactly. The last thing you want is to look bad for the brand, is how they'll put it. So just avoid that controversy altogether.
Also, make sure that everything is up to date on your social media pages. If you have where you live, make sure that is up to date. Say that you lived in Florida and you're trying to move to, or that you moved to Colorado.
Yeah, if the information on your social media conflicts with what you're putting on your resume, that might raise a red flag. So make sure it's all consistent. Go the extra mile. After you apply, one thing that I did that actually helped me land an interview for a job I was not qualified for was I reached out to the manager who's hiring and sent her an email saying, hey, I recently applied. I am excited to possibly interview with you. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help my chances or something like that. And so when I did interview, she said, yeah, you were unqualified, but the look of your resume and the fact that you reached out is the reason why you're here today. I also bombed that interview, but that's a story for the next video.
Tip number 7, make sure that your cover letter is customized. You want to have the name of every company that you are applying to in your cover letter. Maybe if you know the manager's name, make sure you include the name of the manager in your cover letter. It makes it appear like you took more time to write your cover letter and that you actually want the job. And if you would like some tips on your cover letter, make sure you check out our previous video all about how to create the perfect cover letter to get your dream job. When you're submitting your cover letter in your application, make sure that you double check it, not just once, but twice. You don't want to put the wrong company name in your cover letter and send it off, because then guess what? Your application goes into the trash.
I did that, and they didn't even send me an automated email. So
Trash.
Yeah, don't do that. Okay, tip number 8, be very careful what you pay for. So when I was in the application process, and when Megan was in the application process, we didn't pay for a recruiter, we didn't pay for LinkedIn Premium or any other crazy service. We just did the work on our own. You might be interested in paying a recruiter and that sort of thing. We don't recommend it.
You can do it on your own.
Now, obviously, it depends on your industry. You might dabble with a recruiter, but if you are going to engage with anyone, be very careful with what they require. Sometimes the payment will be garnishing your wages or something extreme up front. So just read the fine print and be very cautious when engaging with any sort of paid systems or recruiters and that sort of thing. Okay, so those are tips on how to apply based off of our experiences and things we've learned. I've made a lot of mistakes in this process, and so to avoid making the same mistakes that I made, take a look at these tips and really take advantage of them for you.
And if you like this video, comment down below what your dream job is, hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit the little notification bell so you can be made aware of our next upload, which, speaking of, is...
Next week, we're going to be talking about interviews. So the do's and don'ts of the interview process and how you can land an offer. So stay tuned. We're going to give you a lot of great tips on that as well from some experiences in which yours truly flubbed up.
But that's all for us from now, and
Adios.
adios.